vocabulary related to this will be very much repetitive in TEF Canada exam. So this is why you actually have to do active listening. That means you also have to have the transcript on all the time, or if you are in the beginning phase of your learning, what to listen to. Well, now let's go on to the next phase, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. But okay, so welcome to this video. Today I'm going to talk about a very important topic, and this is something which is going to save you a lot of time, or it will make you use your time very productively and make you learn French more quicker and more efficiently. Okay, so how to learn French for TEF Canada while commuting for work. Okay, now work time is something, commute time towards work is something which is very time consuming. I know if you're traveling to work, if you have a car, or if you're traveling by bus or something, it takes about 1.5 hour one way, and then you're coming back. In total it takes about 2 to 3 hours just to do a commute. If you're in this situation, this video is specifically made for you. Or apart from this, if in any time during your day, if you feel like you're feeling you feel like you're sitting free, you could have studied but you were not able to study, or you don't know properly what to study, this video is for you. So let's understand how to learn French and what actually to learn when you are commuting to work, or when you are sitting free but you cannot study during that time. All right, so how to make your commute time productive? One thing I recommend is, when you're commuting, when you are at a place where you cannot really study properly, you should only do one thing, and that is going to be listening. Why? Because see, you cannot read, because if you try to read in a bus or in a place where there is disturbance, it will distract you. Also, it will create strain in your eyes. So I don't really recommend reading, because you won't really be focused for reading. We do require a proper quiet environment, and same thing for writing as well. We do require a quiet environment like a library to properly read or to properly write. For speaking, you cannot just speak to yourself while being in the bus. So the only option we are left with is listening. Unless you're traveling with a friend who is also learning French with you, and he or she is in the bus with you, that's the perfect scenario. You can also do speaking practice with them, but generally speaking, listening is the way to go. So now what to do? Make a dead time productive. Let's say you are going to your work, you have about 15-20 minutes. Now I'm going to talk level by level or competency by competency, like what resources to listen to as a beginner when you're in the bus or when you're commuting, what to do as an intermediate, and what to do to practice for your TEF. So first, if you're a complete beginner, do these two things. First channel is going to be Listen EF, okay, and Frenchify podcast. These two things will be very useful. Now the goal over here is not to understand everything. Why? Because if you're in the bus, obviously you won't be able to look at the subtitles. It will be kind of like a reading, which again, it will strain your eyes. If you're a complete beginner, the goal for you is to be able to listen to French very slowly, so that you're able to slowly and steadily recognize the words without needing to look into the subtitles or into the transcript. Okay, that is our goal. So we have to listen to the resources according to that goal only. Okay, so first thing I recommend is Frenchify podcast. Now, see, let me tell you guys one thing. If you guys are starting your listening practice, in order to do any sort of listening practice, you still have to have a good level of grammar. You still need to understand the overall basic language. Okay, otherwise if you try to listen anything, but if you do not know the generic language or generic grammar or how the language functions, the basic level of language, then you won't be able to understand anything, because it's like listening any other language. Okay, because you're not so familiar with the language, it will be like a waste of time. So before even starting your listening practice, what I recommend is you build some level of language understanding. You're able to understand basic sentences, you're able to understand basic rules, and you know all the verb conjugations, and you know basic vocabulary and stuff like that. Once you do that, so this basically means like you need to spend time for 1 month in the theoretical part of language. Okay, after that you can start listening to the podcast or these channels that I'm going to recommend in your commute time. Okay, so first one is going to be Frenchify podcast. Very useful. Why? Because very simple audios are there, and you can switch on the subtitles as well, but you don't need to. As long as you listen to them slow, you can always just listen and push your brain to understand what it was saying, what the audio was saying. All right, and if ever required, all the resources, not only this one, all the resources that I'm going to talk about, make sure to reduce the speed. On YouTube, we also have the option to reduce the speed to 0.9, 0.75, 0.5. Do whatever comfortable for you, but make sure that you're always reducing the speed if you feel like the audio is a bit too hard or it's not doable. So yeah, that is one thing. Now, once you start feeling comfortable in Frenchify podcasts, you move on to another YouTube channel, which is Listen EF. Okay, Listen EF. Again, this is a YouTube channel for short stories, short and simple understandable stories. Frenchify podcast is also for short and simple understandable stories, and Listen EF as well. However, Listen EF has a little bit more in-depth content, and it will include more wide variety of vocabulary. So it's I would say it is more for people those who have got quite used to the language in about 2 to 3 months. All right, so then go on to Listen EF and start one story. Each video is about 15 to 20 minutes. So if you are going one way, if the work is 20 to 30 minutes far away, you will just be able to complete one video, which is great. Or if it's 1 hour, then you can do 2 podcasts. Okay, with that, now slowly and steadily over the time, you can also start implementing this in another YouTube channel, which is French Facile. French Facile. Over here I'll put the screenshot. Very useful channel. One thing I recommend, listen it at 0.75 speed first. Why? Because if you just listen to it at normal speed, it will feel very overwhelming. So just reduce the speed. But again, because you'll be in the bus, because you'll be traveling, you won't be able to switch on the subtitles, okay? Or you won't be able to look at the subtitles. But if there is any opportunity where you can do it, sure, why not do it? Let's say if you are on the bus, at the bus stop, and if you are waiting for the bus, over there you can have a phone in your hand or your iPad in your hand, and you can actually switch on the subtitles and just read the subtitles, okay? Feel free to do so. Again, the goal is not to understand each and every word and each and every vocabulary. The goal is just to consume language and get used to the listening, okay? Because the words are some things, the vocabulary is something which you will just get used to them over the time, okay? The more you listen, the more you read while you are doing your general French practice, you will anyhow be able to remember those words. But I know that when you will be listening, you will be like, oh, I don't know this word, I don't know this word, I don't know what they said. Now try not to do Google Translate all the time, otherwise you will be just too confused, okay? Just listen, that's it, okay? If there is a 20-minute video, don't worry too much, just try to listen. That's the whole goal right now. Okay, and try to do this at least 3 to 4 times a week. Let's say if you go to work 5 days a week, doing it regularly whenever you're commuting is the perfect time investment for this. If you're someone who is a complete beginner, you'll be able to get $50 discount on Frenchify A1 program, whether it's self-study or intensive. All you need to do is use this discount code Frenchify50 and you'll be able to get a discount and start at Frenchify A1 intensive program. Now let's go on to the next phase, which is going to be a little bit more difficult, but now this is where we are actually expanding into the language. For this, you actually need a good hold of language, at least 3 to 4 months, or I would say a 4 months plus experience in the language. And the resources over here we are going to use are going to be Inner French and Easy French. Okay, Inner French, Easy French. You start with Inner French. Podcasts. The podcasts are going to be very long. Each podcast will be about 30 minutes, but that is like your task for the day. Okay, so tomorrow if I'm going to commute, I'll have to listen to this 30-minute podcast. Whether your commute is 30 minutes, if it's 30 minutes, then you'll be able to complete one podcast. If your commute is 15 minutes, then you can do it in 2 splits. You go and come, you listen 15 minutes. Okay, if your commute is 1 hour, then try to still at least complete one podcast, but 2 podcasts one way would be even better. Okay, but I think that would be a bit too much. Try to just keep only one podcast for 30 minutes. That would be perfect. And I would say consume Inner French for at least 1 month. Okay, before than that, do not start Easy French because Easy French is comparatively difficult resource to consume. So that is why I would recommend you do Inner French. With Inner French, now if you feel like Inner French is too boring, with that you can supplement the earlier resource as well, which I mentioned, which is French Facile, okay, YouTube vlogs. So you'll be able to complement both of these, supplement both of these into your listening practice during your commute time. And yeah, now in this podcast, Inner French is a solo podcast in which Hugo explains topics in slow and rich French. Basically, the vocabulary is simple but very, very useful for regular conversation, and it's great to improve your ability to understand long form spoken French ideas. All right, so this is going to be one, and once you have consumed Inner French for at least about about 1 month, then you move on to the other one, which is going to be Easy French. Now Easy French, these are the team of ladies who take interviews of different French people in France or different countries, but the conversations happen in French. So this will give you more, this will expand your language horizon into native French spoken skills or French listening skills. All right, this is very, very useful. Why? Because these are street interviews. Okay, Easy French YouTube channel is relied on street interviews, which is the real life language. The language is not the language is not too much focused towards the beginners, but it is focused towards French people, okay, while still being easier. Technically, it's not that difficult. Yeah, if you can watch the video as well while commuting, that would even be best, because it's interesting that way. All right, now this is a beginner and intermediate journey. All right, the third step, which is going to be advanced step, this is where you will be able to consume more technical vocabulary. Now, I personally I used to listen to these podcasts during my, not only my commute, but also when I used to do cardio, when I used to work out in the gym. I just used to listen to it. I tried not to listen to each and every word, but I was like, okay, you know, even if it's passive listening, it should be fine for me. Okay, so first one, this YouTube channel, very useful, Hugo Decrypt Grand Format. Okay, please make sure to watch this one, Hugo Decrypt Grand Format. There are two YouTube channels. One is Hugo Decrypt Actus du Jour, which means daily reporting, whereas the other one is Hugo Decrypt Grand Format. Now, this is more YouTube related videos. This is not a news channel. It's more sort of like a YouTube vlog, or not vlog, but YouTube interview related channel. So this is something which I really recommend. Very interesting, and the goal is to be able to confidently and 90% understand the content in this channel. When you start, it won't be that much. Okay, when you start, it might just be like 50%, 60%, but over the time you will build this comprehension. What you need to do when you are starting this YouTube channel, make sure that you are reducing the speed to 0.75. If it is less than 0.75, it's too slow. Alright, so just keep it at 0.75 and listen to the YouTube channel at 0.75 for about at least 2 to 3 weeks, and then you will build the overall comprehension, and then you will be able to increase the speed to 0.8 or 0.85, and then slowly go on to one speed, you know, the natural speed. Now, the thing is, in this YouTube channel, the videos are longer. Okay, they are documentary style videos, which are perfect for you know, which are perfect for one-way commute, which is like 10 to 30 minutes. Okay, and the other thing is, this YouTube channel focuses on politics, environment, social issues, and a lot of other things which are very similar to TEF Canada exam. Once you guys start exploring more mock tests of TEF Canada exam, you guys will see that society, politics, health, science, food, gastronomy, stuff like this, vocabulary related to this will be very repetitive, will be very much repetitive in TEF Canada exam. So this is why it's very useful that you watch this, listen, do your listening practice from this YouTube channel. That's pretty much it for commute. There are other channels as well which you can watch, but I would not really put them in this category. Why? Because for those YouTube channel, you also need to, like, you actually have to do active listening. That means you also have to have the video on, and you also have to have the transcript on all the time when you are listening to those YouTube channels. That's why I won't be putting them in this category, because in these resources, the goal is to be able to, listen to the audios or podcasts, which you can do so without the transcript as well. Alright, the goal is just to push yourself to be able to consume as much of listening as you can. Okay, so I want to mention one more thing. If you want a proper list of all these resources, you can sign up for my free beginner program. In this free beginner program, I will also be sharing the PDF with you, which will include all these resources that you can use during your commute time. And if you want to understand how TEF Canada exam evaluation works, make sure to watch this video. And if you want to see how other students have cleared their TEF exam with Frenchify, make sure to watch this playlist. That will help you a lot. And make sure to comment down which video would you like me to make, so that I'm able to answer your questions in more detail.